Alright, pretty much you can see how easy it was to take the gutter off. You know, this long section, it's about 30 feet by myself, and doing this with this tool here is what makes that invaluable, working by myself. So because I'm by myself, having this extra hand to hold everything in place for me absolutely makes it a lot more simpler to work with. Now that the gutter's on the ground, some of the spikes gave me a hard time. Alright, so when I took the spikes out, basically I just kind of left them in there just to have a place to put them. This one here was kind of beat up. I couldn't even get it through. So now that it's on the ground, I can deal with it easier with just pulling it out with this tool right here. And at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this metal here. I'm just going to take this here and push it in and flatten it out to make everything as flat as possible. So I'm just going to try to clean up all my metal. It's all beat up like that all the way through, just so that I can get the gutter ready to be reinstalled. The gutter is bent over here. I'll clean this up here. That's one of the things that makes this tool nice as well. Basically, this tool is meant for the drip edge, so I can take this, put this in the drip edge and bring this out, because I'm changing the way that I'm going to put wood in here. So this is all going to be completely redone. Okay. But at the same point in time, when you have a bend like this, you can take your metal seam tool here, pull it in here, and just completely clean this up and get that just the way you want it to. So I'm gonna, get the spikus out and clean up this gutter, and I'm gonna work on that right now. So anyways, I cleaned up this section of the metal over here. When I was doing this job, I kind of got it sealed up right now, but right, if the camera will get it, I'll show you on this side. Right, where is it? Come on, camera. Right there is where I saw a spike. It's as if when the painter was trying to do it, he came in, and this was at an extreme angle or something, and he went in and punctured a hole right there. So when I do my gutter sealant and at the end of this project and make sure everything's all sealed up, I'll make sure to get that one right there, because I want that's right at the bottom of the gutter, right near the downspout. So I want to make sure that the water's not dripping out there and coming through it. So I'll make sure that's sealed up real well. Now, basically, I've been kind of cleaning this up, but let me show you how I do this. So here's one right here, and let me put the camera on its stand, and I'll show you exactly how I attack this. Alright, so basically I gave you a zoom in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take, this is where those spikes went through and they kind of opened this area up. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my channel lock here and just crimping that all back together and just trying to make that as flat as possible. And that's kind of the process of what I'm doing here. Just trying to go all the way through. Looks like there's some holes here. I don't know why there's like spike holes there, but anyways. So I'm just inspecting the gutter, checking it out. That's what it looks like. There's those dimples right there I told you about. Right there's one of them. Alright, so anyways, I'm just going to continue this process on. Alright, I got the gutter done, and I just have it sitting over here on the side of the house so it's out of my way. So that's pretty much all cleaned up and pretty close to ready to install. So now that that's done, now I come back to my fascia over here, and now I want to address the fascia. So now that the gutter's been removed and you have clean access now to the drip edge, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a broom, which I've got right here, and I'm just going to clean up the fascia and get that ready. So let me get the camera over here and Okay, my next step is to work on the drip edge. I want to get it to pull out because I'm going to be putting in 3/4 inch plywood there, and I want that drip edge to come out and drip down into the gutter. I have here a Pittsburgh 3.5 inch hand seamer metalworking tube tool. These are probably $12 at Harbor Freight Tools. Just very inexpensive tool. Alright, so let's get right to it. Alright, so I'm pretty much going to be doing this all the way down. But basically what I want to do is I want to grab this aluminum drip edge, grab it, push it up as high as humanly possible, get it right up in there, and I want to bring it out because I'm going to be putting in 3/4 inch plywood right here. So basically I want it to look like that, okay? And then I'm going to be putting in plywood there. Let me show you that. Alright, so this is just an example, but basically the plywood is going to be going up here as high as possible and coming down straight. This is what the gutter is ultimately going to be attaching to. And then we need to put a piece of wood here. Now in my particular case, my plywood is I've already got it purchased, cut, and everything, but it's right here, which is just standard 3/4 inch plywood. I kind of, and it's not a good grade, so it's because it's going to be hidden behind the gutter. I purchased very low quality, not with a good finish. Now on the wood that's going to go between the 3/4 inch plywood and the existing fascia is going to be this wood right here, which is just 2x6, which I've already ripped down on the table saw at the correct, which should be at the correct angle. So, so like I said, my first step on this project is going to be to take this fascia, not the fascia, the drip edge, and I'm going to, the camera's not picking it up well, let me get a different camera angle. Alright, my next step is to go through the drip edge. I started out here, but basically I want to go down this entire length of the way and get that entire drip edge to come out to look just like this, so that the opening on it is like that and not like this where it's cutting back. I want it to open up to allow that easy access to that plywood. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. Okay, the drip edge has been opened up the entire way through. Trying to get the best camera angle you can. Is whatever this the darkness here, it's not coming out 100%. Okay, so when I did the job, I have discovered some past termite damage, which, let's see if I can show you this way, which I see right there. I say past because I cleared out all the termite infested wood, and it's just here on the surface, and I didn't see any live bodies, no live termites, nothing. So I'm just going to make an assumption that that's a past damage. Now what I want to do is, you see that right there? So there's a bunch of nails sticking out right here that the roofer kind of penetrated through. I don't want those nails because that's where my wood is going to go. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my extension cord and some a hard hat with the face shield and some hearing protection, and I got my grinder with a metal cutting blade on it right there, and I am going to go ahead and grind off any little nail heads or any imperfections along this fascia underneath that drip edge. I'm going to work on that right now and get that done. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to start getting up our plywood. So my plywood sheets are 8 feet by, let me get the tape measure right here, I'll tell you what that's by. 5.7. Let's see here. This one here is about just under 5.5 inches. They were supposed to, I had it cut at the Home Depot, and they were supposed to cut at 5.75 inches, so 5 3/4. So, you know, sometimes those machines are not the most accurate. And for this project, I don't have to be 100% accurate. But where you want to be as close to accurate as possible is because I'm going to start over here on the left on this project and work out towards the right. So these boards are going to mate with one another, you know, side by side. The idea is that where the mating surface is, you want that to be about the same height. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to determine what side of the board is the side that I want facing out. What side do I want facing in? So I'm going to look at the wood and I'm going to determine what I think is the prettiest face. Now mind you, I purchased low quality because the gutter is going to go on top of it anyways, but as long as I have a choice of what wood goes on top, I might as well choose the prettiest one. And that is going to be this one right here. Now, this is an 8-foot section, and I do want to lop off 3 inches. First thing I want to do is I want to determine, do I want the board to go this way, or do I want the board to go this way here? I see a couple of knots here, and I see some BS going on right there, which I'm going to fill in with caulking, so that's not a huge deal. The gutter is going to go over this, so you're not going to see any of this. And this is at the tail end on this side, so the gutter should be coming down real low here. But you know what I'll do? I'll put the knots up, so they'll be completely out of the picture. So then I'm just going to take a pencil on the back of this, just so I keep my orientation. And I'm going to put an arrow facing up and just write the word back. So now I know that this piece is going to go here and up. Now the next thing I need to do is I want to lop off 3 inches of this board because I want overlap on my angled piece that goes in back here. I want that to stick out 3 inches past this board. So now I want to cut off 3 inches of this board. So I have to decide what side I'm going to take the 3 inches off from, and I'll take it off from this side right here. So I got my workbench here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 3 inches off of this board, mark it, speed square, and I'm going to go ahead and take it to my chop saw inside, cut 3 inches off and hang it up. Alright, I got my 3 inches chopped off. I'm just going to do a dry fit, see how everything fits. But basically it's going to go right like this. Now, I need to put some starter nails in here so I don't have to go crazy. So my starter nails are going to go right about where my pencil line is. So I'm going to take it to my workbench and give myself 3 starter lines. Alright, so the nails that I have are 10D 3-inch galvanized nails, which are right here. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not going to go through the fascia. So what I do, I'll try to do this one-handed. We know that this is going to come like 3/4 inch plywood. I want it to go up here as tight as possible, like this. I have to nail after the drip edge, so the nail is going to go here, like this, and then it's going to go into the fascia. Now I want to make sure that this nail is not going to protrude more than 1.5 inches, because that's how thick this wood is right here. You can see the thickness right here. So if you look at the distance from the drip edge right there to the nail, it's just about 1.25 inches, so I should not go through. So that is, and I'm going to be angled slightly upward too, like this, so I should not go through. But if you If your job is different, you might need different nails. The idea is to try to not go through the fascia. If you do go through, just use your angle grinder and knock it off, and that's how you can address that. So right now we want to get some starter nails in here while we're on the workbench, just to make life as easy as humanly possible. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure what side is facing up. I got my arrow facing up there, so I know that this is going to be installed like this. I also put a line here to give me a reference line of where my nail needs to be under. So I'm just going to take out 3 nails, and I'm just going to go to approximately the center point of the board, come in here, come in at a slight angle, and just, oh, actually I did that one a little bit too hard, went through, didn't mean to do that, and I'll just do that in 3 spots. One here, and that's the same height approximately, right there, and then this one here, which is going to be right about here. Alright, we're good. Let's get this board installed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of eyeballing straight up and down. Now, I'm not going to send that home. I'm going to leave that out 1/4 of an inch, just putting it in place. I want this up, over. Same thing, I don't send it home. I'll send everything home at the end. Get this one up. Just under the drip edge. All right, so pretty much I got this one in place right here. Now, I'm going to put up the next piece that goes right here. So here's the wood that I'm going to put up next, which is the 2x6 Doug fir standard wood. I already got mine cut on the table saw, and the way that I did that was I used 2x4s and made a bunch of sample cuts at different angles to find exactly the right size to get the table saw just right at the right angle and at the right guard length. And then once I figured that out, then I went and ripped all my boards. So now that I got that done, I'm going to grab one of those boards and install it right up here. Alright, I'm going to put this board up first, but it's just ripped off of the table saw. It's got a bunch of stragglies on it. So what I'm going to do is just take some 100 grit sandpaper here and just go through the edge that's been cut, so it doesn't have that. Just try and get it a little bit cleaner. Just this edge right here. Everything else should be fine. Alright, so pretty much you get the process. So I'm just going to be following this down until I get to the end. I'm going to go short 3/4 of an inch so I can put an end cap on. This side didn't need an end cap because it's going up against a wall. So basically I'm just going to continue following this down. Now I'm not going to secure this section here going up like that till the end when I want to secure everything. So I'm putting everything in with minimal nails right now. Get everything all lined up. If I don't like anything, I'm not even trying to send home nails. So if I need to readjust anything, I can do so relatively easily at this stage. So that's my plan of attack. Go ahead. You're on.
Hi everybody. It's Saturday. Happy Saturday.